Is it? Did you check this one down here, so?
I did check it, but
Well, the light's on, whatever that thing does.
where's the other one? Oh, I don't know. The other hookup that belongs to the courts. I just want to make sure that didn't get plugged in.
You're not talking about that heavy cord, are you?
No, no. Oh, good, I thought that was scratched.
That needs some little fuzzies underneath it?
Oh, for heaven's sake. There's like rubber stuff.
Or something stuck underneath there that stuffed it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey Lee, this is Cindy.
What's the name?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we're having some technical difficulties. I'm gonna try to call you.
We'll have it fixed about 1 this afternoon.
Okay. All right, thanks. You can see us on the video.
Oh, now it's doing that again. When you had him online, it wasn't doing that.
I know. How about this?
That's yeah, that one.
It's just a click away, right, Troy?
Why is
that?
this
It's
not-
just a click away.
Click over.
They're fixing it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the other.
That goes to
That's,
their,
okay, that's the thing we don't want hooked up.
Does it have a speaker? Let's use that.
There is a speaker
but
function
he
there.
wasn't hearing what she was talking before. He wasn't, she was.
The light came
Oh,
back
there, now the
on.
lights came on here.
Yep.
I don't know.
Maybe it just needed to be reset.
Third floor,
Try.
men's clothing. Success.
Looks like it.
You want to come up here too, Don, and give it a hand?
No, not my job description.
Than any other.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello?
are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your patience and trying to work through it.
You owe us.
Lee, just so you know, Myron is not here, and you're not here.
Okay, well, actually, I'm there, but I can see you on the video.
Okay.
So,
And it is 9:02, so we should get started.
All right. I guess since Myron is not here, I will start the meeting until he arrives. So I guess some housekeeping things that we usually take care of. If you have a cell phone, please silence it. If you need to take a call, step out. We are streaming live. So that is also going on. You may, just to make you aware of that. I will bring this meeting of the Cottington County Board of County Commissioners to order. It is Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017. With that, I would look for action to approve the agenda and,
so moved.
all right, Lee makes motion.
Second.
Second by Troy. All in favor, or is there any additions or corrections to it? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Action to approve the minutes of the September 26, 2017 minutes.
So moved.
Motion by Troy, a second by Lee. Is there any discussion? Cindy,
Yeah,
did you
there
have-
was, we do need to correct the minutes from last week. When we approved the budget, there was a line item that was incorrect on the spreadsheet that I worked on. The spreadsheet was set up to take a negative, and I entered the number as a negative, which resulted in a positive. Anyway, we need to correct the applied cash to $2,912,681.
Okay, so since we've had a motion and a second to approve the minutes, and you've mentioned that, do we need to do anything further, or just go ahead and...
Is there any objections to approving the minutes as I've
No objection.
outlined?
No
No
objection.
objection.
Okay.
Okay, same here. Okay, so all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion, oh, sorry, Lee, I'll hold on a minute for you. Motion carries. We're going to do a little bit of a switch up on the agenda today, just because Patrick needs to get into court, so we're going to move item number 9 and 10 to this point of the meeting. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning. I think it's already on.
It's on.
Okay. Thank you for getting me up on the calendar. Thank you for always accommodating my office. I know other people have busy schedules too, so I feel like we typically get to cut in the order more than other people do. Obviously on the agenda is my formal resignation today. I submitted a letter to Cindy dated September 29th, which is the day when my appointment was finalized. As the commission is aware, but more for the public's sake, I have received an appointment to be the next magistrate judge in the 3rd Judicial Circuit, stationed in Brookings County. My last day here in Cottington County will be tomorrow, effective 5 p.m. I had previously let the board know in executive session I was a conditional offer, so it wasn't something that I could publicly talk about. So while it does look like I'm leaving rather quickly, that's not exactly the case. I have been working on some things behind the scene. The other agenda item will be that I'm going to request an appointment of my deputy, Rebecca Morlock Reeves, to fill in as state's attorney for the remainder portion of what would be my term here. The way that it works is she would be up for re-election at the general election that would be in 2018. Is that correct, Cindy?
Primary, yeah, there's opposition, yep.
So whoever is appointed to fill a position regardless would have until January to take out petitions if they wanted to remain as state's attorney. If anybody wanted to run against the appointee, they would be able to do that in January as well, June primary, November election. So it is going to be my recommendation to the board that they would appoint Becky to take over my term. I think that's why we have deputies in each of our departments. It does allow for transition in cases like this where somebody needs to take over very shortly. The other item would be regarding salary. If Becky is approved, I would recommend that she start at the same salary that I did, which would be $87,500. I don't know what that is as far as...
It would be step 8. Whoops. No, I'm sorry.
I don't think it's on the steps.
No, it's not. Yep. What did you say?
87,500.
500. Okay.
That was what Judge Elsher had proposed to the board for me when I took over. It is below the lowest step for the state's attorney, but being that it's an appointee, we felt that was appropriate when we compared Brookings, Brown County, Lincoln County, those sorts of comparable areas. What happened with me then, once I was elected, I started on the lowest step for state's attorney. So there will be some cost savings immediately to the county. So the net reduction is going to be, I don't even know how much it is, but it doesn't cost the county more to do this.
No. It's about $1,000, $1,051 less a month than what you're getting.
Fine. So that would be my recommendation to the board, would be to appoint Becky, and at that salary. Does anybody have any questions or anything? I'm kind of rambling.
No, I have no questions.
No questions.
We appreciate everything that you've done, though, and thank you for the recommendation. That's always a help. You know, you understand how your office works and who would be qualified to step into your position, so.
Patrick, I guess I would just like to say a couple things. It's been a pleasure working with you. It's been a great transition to have you in the office. I know both personally and professionally that we really appreciate everything that you've done for us here in Cottington County, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Hate to see you go.
Yes.
So if we decide not to take the resignation, does that mean,
I don't know.
does that mean he gets to stay?
There is a motion scheduled to accept.
We can't even ask the
with
state's attorney if
regret,
that's legal or not.
Accept with
Yes,
regret.
exactly.
Okay, all right.
Would be the proper motion, if anybody wants to offer that.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I need to
Thank you, Charlie.
ask the question then, do we have a motion with regret to accept his
With
resignation?
regret.
Lee makes that motion. Anyone want to second that?
Second.
Troy seconds it. Any further discussion? Lee, did you want to add anything?
Not just, Troy nicely, Patrick, you asset to the county, and I appreciate being able to, and you serve as an advisor, not just the prosecuting attorney for the county, but to advise things that we, so,
Thanks, Lee.
All right. Any other further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
I,
Motion
Could've been a
carries.
no vote. Still would have passed. Just out of principle.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't do that to you.
So
All right.
you'd have to, the next one would be the motion to approve.
So, yes, with Patrick's recommendation, I am looking for a motion to appoint Rebecca Morlock Reeves
So moved.
At a salary of 87.5.
at a salary of $87,500.
Still so moved.
Okay, we have a motion by,
Did Lee-
Go
did
ahead,
Lee
Lee.
second that? Commissioner Waterman made the motion, Commissioner Gable seconded it. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations, Becky.
And then one thing I'll just ask to put on the agenda for next week for her then would be to hire a replacement deputy. So she can go over that information. I can give her what I do have, but just that way you save her a spot on the agenda for next week in case one of us forgets to tell you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
everybody. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Patrick.
you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Myron, you going to take it over?
Yes, I apologize for being that late. I'm never late. I'm never late. Screwing around not watching the radio on the clock.
Turn it on. We're on item 3.
We're on item 3, which is action to adopt the county highway 5-year plan. Rick? Anything, any comments?
I haven't received any public comments since our first hearing on it. That is,
I'll make a motion that we adopt that.
There's a couple of things. Actually, we're going to, what the process is, we will adopt Resolution 2017-21, and you will authorize the chairman and myself to sign the certification.
Can that be all one motion?
Yep, it can.
Okay, I will make that motion then.
All right, we have a motion by Hanton. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Lee. Any more discussion? Does everybody understand what we're voting on here? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We have to wait for Lee. Sometimes I wouldn't do that when he's on speaker.
Oh, he's on, yeah, he's on speaker. Lee, how did you vote on that?
I said aye.
Yes.
Got it?
Motion carries. Unanimous vote. All right. Number 4, opening audit comments.
I'm going to go grab the,
And I think that's why I was late. I was reading the audit letter, which was a pretty detailed letter last night, and I think I was overdid it. Do you have a copy of the letter in the packet?
I didn't see a copy.
I did not see
Did
one.
receive that in the email.
It goes through all of the details of what is expected of the audit, what's expected of the employees, the management, and so on and so forth, and the fact that they will report back to us once the audit is completed. And that's the normal procedure that we go through. Those of you, the new commissioners, we have an audit, a biannual audit, which is every 2 years. We are required by state law to have an audit. So, that being said, go ahead and introduce yourself, and you
Please take the
can
mic.
take it from here, all right?
Okay, good morning. My name is Dave Slosser, and I work for the Department of Legislative Audit.
Dave, hold the mic up to your mouth. There you go.
And so just letting you know, we're going to start your 2-year audit, which is for the years 2015, 2016. And so if you guys have any questions on the process, or I know we shouldn't have to test grants this time, so that's always kind of nice, saves a lot of time.
It also means we didn't get very many,
No,
Grant
there's
funding.
a flip side of that.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't get much in federal monies.
grant funds are drying up.
So, yeah, you have to receive and spend 750,000 trigger a federal grant audit now. So we won't be doing that. We always, as far as the audit, we always, it's pretty standard on, as far as testing outlying offices, we try to do that on a rotating basis, like sheriff records or register of deeds or weed department. So I don't know if you guys have anything in that regards, any offices you want us to look at in particular or anything. You can always let us know, later too.
There are 2 auditors, and they are working out of my back office. If you have any questions, that's where you
How
can
long does
find
that
them.
process normally take to do that audit?
So, I'll look back and last time your bill a little over 300 hours, 325
Okay.
hours.
Okay,
But that was with, grant testing.
right.
I didn't look to see what that was, but sometimes that'll take, 40, 50 hours.
Typically, I think it's always been a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah.
usually. Yeah.
It
At
usually
least.
takes longer than a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's a pretty extensive process.
They
then.
keep a
That's
low
good.
profile. You
Yeah.
just don't realize they're
Yeah.
here, but
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is Dave's first time auditing Cottington County. We have had the same auditors for a number of years, and they have either retired or left the state. So this is a new.
Well, I've been with our office.
Dave's
for
been here a
28
long
years.
time, but he has never been to Cottington County
Right.
before. So
Been almost every other place.
Well, welcome.
Yes.
Glad you're here.
And then Wyatt Workenthien, he'll be helping, and he's new, so this is his 4th day on the job. So,
Well, he's still here anyways.
so it'll take him, he's a little slow right now, but we consider that when we prepare the bill. believe me, so.
Great.
Probably the key to having the audit go smooth and expedite is the help that you get from the ladies in the office.
Yes,
And
yes.
in the past, they've always been able to supply and support you in anything that you needed,
Correct.
and I'm sure that that will happen again this year.
Right, yeah, we always, when we, test vouchers, for example, we always, we have a sample, and, Cindy and her people always, pull them for us and do that type of thing, so that, wherever we can save time, we try to do that, so,
Sure.
yeah.
So a motion to authorize Myron to sign the engagement letter for the audit would be in
I think you
order.
sign it too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
We have a
second
motion by
that.
Van Dusen,
Second.
second by Hatton. Any more discussion? Anything else?
Just a second, that's all.
The only thing that I would add is that I did read the letter
Okay.
of introduction. That's what I said. The reason I'm late this morning is because I sat up and read that thing last night, and it's pretty detailed, using normal standards, even that. And I think having seen those several times, there's a lot of detail that it's amazing the things that they dig out, and that's what they're here for, is to find out if we're doing anything incorrectly or.
Again, if you have, any questions on the process or, what we look at and that, just stop by. Main thing is, we're issuing an opinion on your financial statements. And we test, compliance with state laws and, we're supposed to make the board aware of any internal control deficiencies, that type of thing, so.
All right.
Okay. That being said,
We got a motion and a second. We just need to vote.
call for the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, yeah,
Thank you.
Yes, you can go to work.
yeah.
Troy, could you bring the volume up on that a little bit?
Sure.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir, Lee.
I'm an aye on that. I'm a yes.
Yes, sorry for that. And remind me if I forget to call on you.
Okay.
Appreciate that, Lee.
Test.
Let's go to item number 5, monthly reports. We'll start out with extension. Morning.
Morning, Jody.
Good morning.
All right. Well, first of all, we just returned from our SDSU Extension Conference, which was last week, and we had some great speakers at that. Currently working on some reports and scheduling programs for our new 4-H year, which this week is our National 4-H Week. And tonight we're having an open house at Thunder Road from 5 to 7 p.m. And our re-enrollment began on October 1st. So we're just beginning. We already have kids re-enrolling already through our online system. We also have a program that I'm working on as a committee throughout the state. It's called the Character All-Stars. In the past, in Watertown, it was probably called Hometown Heroes. And we've opened it up to all the schools in South Dakota last year, and this is our second year with it. And we have students, we have 3 Character All-Stars right now. We have 1 in Waverly South Shore and 2 in Florence, and I'm still working on a few other schools because there is still time to be part of it. I did training with the other 3 already, but they'll be bringing a positive message to their school, to their elementary school. And this year it's talking about cyberbullying. And so that's one of our, it's a curriculum that I came across at one of my national conferences in Minneapolis when I was there, and it's from West Virginia. And that's something that West Virginia promotes through their legislature in West Virginia, is this curriculum that they have. And it's through 1 through 4, K through 4, and then a 5 through 8 curriculum for cyberbullying. So these kids are going to start it out, and then either I will go into the schools and help them, or they'll be teaching it too. So kind of gives them a good role model approach also. So, and then just a FYI that I'm going to be the new Optimist Club president for this coming year. So.
Oh, good for you.
And our installation is this Thursday. So
you'll be in charge of the parade out at the city park?
Well, we have lots of committees for all the things
Oh.
that we are, but yep, I'm just the president of the club. But we have lots of committees for different programs. So
Thanks for being an optimist.
Yeah, congratulations. That's good.
So yeah, tonight we'll have our open house at Thunder Road. One of our 4-H leaders runs Thunder Road, so it's a great place to have it there. And it's from 5 to 7. And we have 4-H members that are going to be displaying some of their projects and sharing their ideas with kids. So.
Any questions for Jody? Thank you, Jody.
Thanks, Jody.
Al, Veteran Service. Morning, Al.
How's everybody?
Morning, Al.
Good.
Okay, for the month of September, we had 4 trips and 8 riders to Sioux Falls. We had 97 appointment/walk-ins. We had 2 home visits during that time frame. On the 14th, we had our military and first responders appreciation program out at the Readiness Center. Really had a nice turnout out there. On the 20th, our office hosted the Female Veterans traveling art display at the Elks Lodge. It was 9 different pictures that were done by veterans throughout the country, women veterans, and they had the display set up at the Elks, and had a nice turnout for that also. That's about it for the month.
Okay, any questions for Al?
I did attend that first responders appreciation, and
Yeah.
that is a nice event. Thanks for,
Nice event.
Yeah, I would
For doing
second that. I was out there as well, and really well attended, and it was really well organized, and
They do a nice job.
yeah, so thanks for your work on that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else? I did have a chance to observe the lady veterans, and I thought they were probably auxiliary members, but they were actually veterans that did the artwork and displayed their paintings, and very well done. Very nice. Thank you, Al.
Thanks, Al. Mr. Chair, can I just verify that Lee is still online here?
Yes.
Lee, are you still there? Yeah. Okay. We heard a couple clicks. I just wanted to make sure we didn't lose you.
Next one is weeds. Steve? The weed man.
good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Steve. There's the mic over there.
Morning, Steve.
Okay.
this the weed of the week again? or- Looks like you were taping in the dark. There you go.
Must be chasing nightshade.
Yeah.
Well, this here is going to show a little bit of my report in Sabayat. So far this fall in Sabayat, we have 266 hours logged of spray time so far, with 1,980 miles sprayed, about 40 acres, 470 gallons of 2,4-D used, 210 gallons of Tordon, and 6.5 gallons of glyphosate, and 5.5 gallons of Milestone. So far in the spray season, we've got probably about 100 miles of county roads left to do. Townships are done at the present time. I am currently waiting right now on a township that said they were going to fall spray. I contacted them yesterday. They were having a meeting last night, and they would let me know. Coming events. District Weed Board meeting in Stratford on October 30th. So far right now I have a travel request for myself and my 2 staff to go. One of them don't know if he can go, so that's why I have 2 on there. It's up at the present time.
And the reason you need to is for the funding.
It's for the grants, yeah. You have to have 2 people represent the county to get full grant money when you go to the district meeting or to the conferences. Okay, on last week, Thursday, on the 28th at the Holiday Inn, I attended, I don't want to say a workshop through Connecting Point.
Cybersecurity.
Yeah,
Yes.
cybersecurity actually was named People, the socially engineered dream. And basically what it is these guys go in and try to get as much information from somebody to be able to come in and
They test your system
test
to
your
see
system.
how easy it is to attack your system. It was very interesting.
Correct.
Some of the things they've done, and yeah.
And it might not be just, it's that they can get into buildings and be able to get to your server and just simple little things,
Yes.
that they can
Yeah.
actually get.
Yeah.
So
When
it
you
was-
walk
it was
away
very
from
interesting.
your workstation, lock it.
Right.
Lock it up. Control-Alt-Delete, lock it up. He actually had a photo of the hotel he was staying in. He was walking down the hallway, and there was an empty office with somebody's computer just sitting right there up for anybody to walk in and mess with. So, yeah, it was good.
It was good.
He would be a good speaker at one of our conferences.
Thank you, Cindy. Also, I attended the weed tour and commission meeting last month in September. At the commission meeting, it was brought up in Sylvia, so a couple counties brought up for putting wormwood sage on the state noxious list. They are going to look at that and consider that. The other one is yellow toad flax. It is a noxious weed. Some counties have it on their local list. The biggest issue that was brought up is this species gets in lawns, and so far the testing of control of this is Tordon. And Tordon and lawns don't mix, especially with trees and shrubs.
And gardens.
And gardens. Currently, right now, SDSU is doing some research up in the Leola area of trying to do multiple applications of using lawn care stuff. As I have heard, at that date, they had 3 applications already done, and it hadn't even curled it or rolled it. So, yeah, this is a tough one, and to put it on a state noxious list, it will be pretty tough. How do you control it in lawns? Because if you mow it, it still will bloom even at the height of the grass that it's mowed at. So,
And that's yellow toad flax.
it's yellow toad flax, yes. There are pictures, there are areas, especially up in the Leola area, where a pasture that might be solid yellow. It might look like leafy spurge, but it's solid yellow toad flax. It can get very invasive. So we do have quite a bit of it in Cottington County, a lot of it along roadsides. There are some pastures with it, and of course lawns. Cemetery out here has lots of it out in theirs. There's a bunch up in South Shore and around the church that's up there in the corner of County 3 and 20. So
That pasture just south of my place, County Road 11, on the east side of the road, it's got a lot of it in it.
yes, there's a lot of it on that road there going north. You get back live here again. And then on the weed tour, I'll back out of here. We had gone to multiple places. I've got a few pictures of places that we had attended in Sylviette. And the first stop in Sylviette, this is out at Falls Park. This is a linden tree. This tree is being attacked by Japanese beetles. There's a lot of it in the Minnesota and Minneapolis area. And most of the distribution of this is being distributed by a lot of the nurseries. Of course, Bailey's is a big one in that area, and a lot of it, they're a grub that goes into the roots of the plants, and then when they get distributed, they'll emerge, and then they'll go out into trees. Linden trees, certain trees, they're really susceptible to go after. You can see a little bit of brown damage of it. This is what they do. They eat out all the green around the webbing of the plants. At that day, they thought they'd be able to see some out, but it was just cool enough in the morning. They really like sunlight, so they weren't really out that we could find anything. This insect in Sylviette is probably about the size of your small fingernail.
Is that the one that looks like a ladybug?
No, that's the, what you're thinking of, the Asian beetle. This one here is black with little brown specks on it. I wish I had a picture of it, but I don't have a picture of that insect.
What's the name of it?
Japanese beetle.
Japanese beetle, yeah. Okay.
And of course, here's a picture of the Falls Park. And then at the Falls Park also, they have purple loosestrife. This here is Nathan Mueller of Grant County. He actually found an insect that was on there. He's taking a picture of an insect that was on the purple loosestrife. And of course, Sioux Falls has lots of it, lots of purple loosestrife in that community. From there, we went out to this bird reserve, or in Sylviette. This is actually just west of Wall Lake. This actually is a contributory to the lake that feeds water into the lake. And I took a shot of some of the group that was standing in the dock area there, and a picture of out into the reserve. And then this here is a gentleman here that's the big guy standing there. He is the one that is director of that water district, basically. And he was discussing of different things, project. What they do is they went out to show the control and their methods of control of controlling their noxious weeds in that area, and it's pretty clean. They do a really good job of doing that. Plus it's helped clean up for Wall Lake a lot of things that always was feeding into Wall Lake bad. This here is a picture. This is our last spot, but before that we had took a spot. We went out to a couple locations in Minnehaha County. One was about a weed complaint, an issue that he has been dealing with for many years. And of course, when we went driving by it and stopped, that wasn't that much problem out there, what a lot of people would consider. We found out, like most of us find out, there's always a grudge about a neighbor. And so that's what more or less was. Cause we went 2 miles down the road, and there was a pasture that was about 50 times worse. And of course, no grudge was put on that one. So those are the issues that we always have to deal with and stuff. And from there, we went to the landfill and the control measures that they do there around the landfill for controlling noxious weeds. Then, following after lunch, we went to Beersford, and this is the picture of out at the plots that Paul puts on down at Beersford. And we went through quite a few of the plots and the group of individuals that was attending the weed tour. There were a few of them that had left already at lunch and so that, but that's a couple snapshots of the party that was attending. So anybody have any questions?
No question.
All right.
So what trees do we plant, being we can't plant ash trees and linden trees and pine trees?
I really couldn't tell you for sure. Let's put it this way. This country actually, the native trees were actually the willows and so they had along the riverbanks, and this land really wasn't developed for trees and stuff, but trees are good and they've done good for this area. So
Do we have issues with that beetle here?
we do not. They did spot some though when actually the Department of Ag was in Brookings, and they did find some grubs in some plants that was distributed into at the nursery down, or at actually Lowell's actually, and so they had to get them discarded. And since then, they had been talking to the nursery plants. And they always have to go and pay attention at the nurseries and so that, and hopefully they investigate things too when stuff comes in.
Are these nurseries mostly in Minnesota that are planting these trees? I see.
No, actually, they're throughout probably the whole Midwest.
Okay.
So what's the control of Japanese beetle in the linden? Is it malathion 7?
Yes, malathion. A lot of times the treatment, these grubs will be in the ground and they emerge and they'll overwinter in the ground by the trees and so they have to come out. And, I don't know if you're familiar with some of them that you've had with your treating of trees that you had in the past, Myron.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, yeah. Spray them early in the spring.
Yep.
Steve, I just forwarded you an email. As long as your tablet is hooked up,
Okay.
could you open up
I don't have my email on this.
Oh, you
tablet.
don't? All right, I was going to say, we've got Brad's graph
Oh,
that we could put up,
1 second.
but I think I need
can-
an adapter.
I'll forward it to this
Okay.
device and stuff. So
Oh, okay, all right.
Technology break?
technology break.
All right. Well, that's better than a break in technology, right?
The welfare director is conducting interviews this morning, so she just gave me a written report to submit to you. Looks like there were 36 people served. Cost to the county for August 2017 was for medical and a burial, $4,588. County savings were $50,383.28 by using other resources. And there were 44 people who used the NACO prescription drug card for a savings of $2,802.40, and that is in the month of August.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
Did you all get my email about the district meeting coming up in November?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
I had conversations with,
It's on election day.
Oh,
That's right.
with Todd yesterday and Luke.
there we go.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
So, but I was going to mention
you,
that
Steve.
today if
Okay,
they want
good.
me to
I
go forward on
trying to
that.
remember if I had sent the email, but.
Yep.
Okay, good.
You did.
What are we looking at, Steve?
This is Brad's report.
Oh, this is Brad.
This is Brad's
Oh, okay.
Monthly
Oh, okay, good.
spreadsheet.
Did anyone have any more questions for Steve?
Oh, we'll try here.
Any other questions for Steve? All right, thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Happy weed hunting.
Morning.
Good morning, Sheriff Brad, good morning. You're up, you're next.
You guys around? 3.
Thank you.
There you go.
Just one?
Yep.
Want more?
Nope. I think that's,
I got an extra one here.
I don't have
All
one.
right.
Lee, you want one?
I need one, Myron.
Oh,
Yeah, I got some of it. I got the first page with the graph.
all right.
You have one on your seat.
Yep, I got one on your desk there for you. So, all right. Well, we'll start with the monthly balance sheet for August here. End of August, the balance was $10,190.46. And if we jump down, we can see that we collected $8 in copy fees. We collected $8,892.96 in sheriff's fees. And we collected $700 in warrant fees for a total $9,600.96. If you want to go ahead and jump over to the next page there, that's what we got up on the board here. We'll go through that. All right. You already had her zoomed in, didn't you? All right, for August, the Sheriff's Office responded to 623 cases and calls, 11 accidents. They served 73 warrants, served 292 civil papers, and we did 4,000, that says 47, but we did 4,739 miles for transport miles. So not 47, it was 4,739. That was for a total of 21 transports, and we transported 31 people around, of them 21 transports. We'll scroll down a little bit there.
How many transports?
21 transports.
21 with 31
With 31
clients, okay.
31 inmates,
Okay.
people transported. If you jump on down to the middle here, for the jail stats, our average daily population for August was 82.55. Our high ADP for the month was 93, and that was on 3 days. That was on August 12th, 13th, and 14th. Our low average daily population was 71, and that was on the 30th and the 31st of August. If you jump down to the Scram bracelet, we had 30 people on the Scram bracelet. We had 67 people on the twice daily PBTs on the 24/7 program, 33 people on the weekly UAs where they have to come in and test, and 0 people on the sweat patch. And we had a total of 254 bookings for August. Scroll on up to the next little set there. And for out-of-county contracts in August, we collected $9,402.50. Work release fees, we collected $7,540. 24/7 fees, we collected $8,277. And Scram fees, we collected $5,790.
24/7 fees were up considerably.
Yep, 24/7
Yeah.
fees were up a lot, so.
I see the work release, I see people on work release, the fees were down quite a bit.
Yep, that could be a contribution of a little less people on the 24, or the work release program, you know, from pre-trial to sentenced. You know, sometimes that kind of gets out of balance, and so probably a little less people on the work release program. And just wanted to touch base on this couple things that's going on in the sheriff's office here. We've been working on our CIT training. For those that don't know what CIT training is, that's our crisis intervention training. It's something that our officers, police officers, and the sheriff's deputies, and correctional officers, is something that we all kind of work towards getting. What that does is it helps out on the street when you're dealing with somebody that has a crisis going on, maybe a mental health crisis, or it helps to de-escalate that situation and help to work through that, help get that person the proper help that they may need. So that can help reduce our jail population by getting them, diverting them to the correct people instead of having to bring them to our local facility here, so that's
These
a
are-
good training.
These are people that haven't committed crimes at that point. You just get called to a call that there's
Potentially, it could have been somebody that may have committed a crime. It could be somebody, we could use these tools. It's another tool in the toolbox for our officers that are out there in the streets and for the correctional officers. I know our correctional officers will use this a lot to de-escalate somebody in the jail there.
Gotcha.
So it's a really good tool. It's a 40-hour class. It's something that we've been putting on in-house here with a combination of the whole community collaboration of people. We have the HSA representatives helping. We did tours of the Beacon Center. The VA is involved. Just a lot of different people coming together to put this on for our officers. So it's a very good class. The last class is this Thursday at 1:30 if you commissioners are interested in coming down to kind of see the end result. Part of this training, we actually have trained actors that are CIT trained come in, so our officers get to spend a lot of time actually practicing de-escalation techniques and working with these actors. It's a very good training, and like I say, if you guys are interested, 1:30 this afternoon, Thursday afternoon, in the EOC, in the basement of the sheriff's office, if you guys want to come and see what it's about. We just finished our fall firearms and completed that for the sheriff's office, and on September 14th, we were also involved with the Veterans and First Responders Appreciation, and one of my correctional officers actually won one of the awards for the Veterans and First Responders Appreciation for the year. And that was Wes Jennings. He's very active in the community. He's involved with search and rescue, and it was a very well-deserving award for Wes.
Please pass on our congratulations to him for us, will you?
Absolutely, will do.
Thank you.
Will do. One last thing here. October 23rd, we are going to be in participation with Watertown Healthy Youth Group Coalition. There's going to be a town hall. It's going to be at LATI, October 23rd, from 5:30 to 7. And we're asking if you guys would be interested in coming on down to this. The topic is prescription drug use and binge drinking in Watertown and the surrounding area here. We're going to have an open forum. You can ask questions. We'll share some stuff. Law enforcement will be involved. Probably some courts, judges. Just a good thing to get out there and share with the community. There'll be a light supper served, free daycare. It's free to the community. So,
What room is that going to be in?
it's going to be on the 4th floor of Lake Area Tech, so the top floor.
And what time was that again?
It's at 5:30 to 7 p.m.
You had one of these last year, correct?
Actually, this spring, we did a meth.
Okay,
We
yep.
did a town hall on meth. So this is kind of building off that and some of the prescription drug usage and some binge drinking, just to make community awareness. So,
That was the 23rd of October.
yes.
Brenda,
Yep.
that one that you're talking about, that was well attended. There was a lot of people
Yes.
there, and I heard a lot of good comments after the conclusion of that. So these are good sessions. If you want information on what's going on locally, stop up and take advantage of that. It's a good session.
Eye opener.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good for the community to be able to ask them questions and have that at town hall. So
And youth are encouraged to attend as well, or not?
yes, absolutely. Youth are encouraged. Parents, everybody. It's good to. come
Is
on
this
out.
town hall focusing on prescription drug use then?
Prescription drug use and binge drinking?
drinking.
And binge drinking, okay.
Thank you for organizing that again.
What date was that again?
October 23rd,
Yep.
from 5:30 to 7 at Lake Area Tech on the 4th floor.
If you went to the 5th, you're past it.
If you went to the 5th, you're on the roof.
I don't think the elevator goes that high.
Thanks, Brad.
Yep.
Good one, Troy.
Yep.
And the actual name of it is Healthy Youth, or,
Watertown Healthy Youth
yeah.
Coalition.
Anything else?
I think we have another topic on the agenda.
Number 6
here.
on the
Yes,
agenda.
yeah, we'll
Thanks
sit
for your
tight, we'll
report.
do number 6, and that is
Oh,
action to approve a project for remodeling the sheriff's office. Lee, you want to chime in on this now?
Well, I'm ready, I'm listening, Mr. Chairman, so,
All right.
This
So-
is,
This is
this is
Brad's.
not, yeah, this is Brad's
Yeah,
project.
this is my
This is
project
something
here, so-
Brad is doing.
Okay, so go ahead, Brad.
All right, for 2017, Sheriff Wishart actually had budgeted a little bit of money for a little remodel project and updating in the sheriff's office here. I held off until after the past vote here just to kind of see how things were going. What I plan on doing is utilizing the space that we have to the best that we can. With the growing deputies that we've had over the past many years, the sheriff's office that we have right now, it's kind of outgrowing the space that we have. So I can better utilize the space by knocking down a wall in between two of my offices that I have in there, and we turn that into what you would call like a bullpen, and then all the deputies and all the space, that's where they would go in for their briefing. So that's the first step of the remodel. The second step is for our office gals up front. It's time to do some remodeling in there. The fixtures that are in there, they were cabinets that were built for the facility. They're reaching 20 years old, and we've had a lot of issues with them where we've had to have maintenance come in and fix them and try to keep them working. So my plan is to take them cabinets and those countertops out and buy some new file cabinets, and plan on with using that bullpen area that I spoke about. We're going to have extra desks available. We'll use them desks, reuse them for the office staff up front there, buy a couple partitions, movable partitions for future expansion so you can move them around and install those, and then recarpet the whole area. So that's the plan.
What is, go ahead.
I've got some estimates, and they've come in well under the budgeted amount that's in there. So
Okay, you heard
And the
plan?
estimates are under bid price of
under
50.
$50,000.
Yeah, and it looks like,
Way under.
looks like Toby budgeted 40,000. So, okay.
And so that is a budgeted item.
yeah, Mr. Chairman, just to ask,
Go ahead, Lee.
yeah, so the budgeted amount was 50,000?
40.
40.
40.
40,000.
40,000, okay. And the estimates are below that?
Yes.
So far?
Yeah.
All right, so I would entertain
I'll
a
make a
motion to
motion
proceed.
to approve.
I have a
Second.
motion by Hatton, a second
Remodeling.
by Waterman. Any more discussion? When would you plan on doing this?
I'm going to make some phone calls right after our meeting today if it gets approved and get the ball rolling. The contractor to knock the wall down, he's looking at end of October, November here, and carpeting is just right after him, so.
This doesn't mean the sheriff's office is closed, right?
Nope, we're going to work around the construction. It's going to be a hectic month for our staff there, but we're going to stay open. So.
Sounds good. Any more discussion? Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, just
Go.
a comment. I like the idea of making a flexible space because future we may be using that for another type of law service. This could be years down the road, but I think sounds like a reasonable plan to me.
All right, okay. Any other comments? Anything else? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Ask for
Ms.
leave.
Mr. Chairman, I vote aye.
Okay, unanimous, ayes, all, the motion carries. Thank you, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Number 7, action to approve the purchase of a trailer and wiring for a donated generator. That's Jim. Emergency management.
You have pictures in your packets of the generator itself, and then Jim also provided you with a picture of the sandbags that are being stored in the new facility.
How's the new facility working out?
It's
Jim?
working out very well there, Mr. Chairman.
You know, when
Looks
I
like
first
they're dry, so
I
that's
first
good.
got that,
Organized.
They are
Yeah.
covered with black plastic to keep the water out there.
That's
when I
good.
first got that picture, I see these pictures on TV of the marijuana that they seized, and they're packaged up like that, and I thought, boy, that's quite a stash.
Just need a drug dog standing next to that with a deputy. Yeah.
There's a little over 100,000 sandbags there.
100,000, and they're dry.
And they're dry now, thank goodness.
Good.
Is that microphone on?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the
You
floor
getting
is
sound
yours,
right,
Jim.
Don?
Okay, as you know, and I showed you, provided pictures of the generator that was given to Cudahy County to be used for emergency response. We'd like to mount that diesel generator in a small trailer, so it's portable. And I'm asking permission today to take money that I have in my budget that we would use to buy a trailer and also have the generator wired into a panel so that it's ready to be used if needed in the county.
I'd make that motion.
Right, we have a motion by Commissioner Hatton, second
Second.
by Mr. Gable. Commissioner Gable, any more discussion?
It would be a little bit hard to get this moved around like this.
I guess, Jim, you said that you've done the research on putting this in a enclosed trailer. It's
That's
not
correct.
going to get too hot. It's not going to burn up the trailer or anything like that.
No, it's not. And this trailer would have cargo doors in the back, not a ramp, but cargo doors.
Yeah.
Where both doors would open in the back. It would also have a walk-through door in the front, plus vents in the trailer that open on the side of the trailer. So with all those openings and, you know, with the fan on the generator pulling air through, I think it's just going to pull it in one door and out the other. I don't think there would be a problem with overheating in that trailer.
We had an issue one time, as you remember, with the generator on a trailer.
Right.
The K-9 team was headed down to Texas, and the generator overheated when we stopped and got gas in Sioux Falls and burned the trailer up. So that's why I'm a little nervous about generators and trailers, I guess. But yeah.
I just have one question, Jim.
Yes, sir.
You got that's a fuel tank on the bottom.
That's the
that
fuel
sits
tank
right?
on the bottom, yes, sir.
Are you going to put an outside fill into the trailer to avoid spills on the floor and getting that wood
I
filled
didn't
up?
plan on that. That's something to think about and talk about.
I mean, nobody plans to spill,
Right.
but wood absorbs that and it stays there forever.
It stays there forever, you know. Like I said, that's something to think about and talk about, but at this point, I hadn't planned on doing that. But it fills right there from the end of the trailer, so you'd be opening the cargo doors and, you know, filled pipe would be right there at the end of the generator, right by the cargo doors. So,
Okay.
Good question. Anything else? Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. There you go, Jim.
okay, thank you very much.
Mr.
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Lee, you voted aye? Lee?
Aye.
All right, got your vote.
Thanks, Jim.
Jim,
Unanimous
just, Mr. Chair, if I could ask Jim just one more question. This other photo that you have of the sandbags inside the new storage building over by the old armory building.
Right.
That looks really nice. Is everything good with that building? And
It's everything's good. The only thing that we have left to really do to that building now is to put up some netting on the south end of it to prevent the building from being damaged by softballs that get hit over the fence. We have the poles in place, and I strung cables between the poles now, so all we have to do in the spring is hanging the netting that we get there.
good.
So, no, everything's looking very good, and if you wanted to go out and take a look at the building, I'll make arrangements to be there with you so that we can open it up and you can see what the building looks like on the inside as well as the outside.
When that hail came through in June, was that to a point yet, or
No,
to receive?
this building was not in
that
place when the hail went through, so,
It's lucky.
yep.
It's a nice addition to the neighborhood, I think, and I think the neighbors are okay with it being there.
I've had an
That
opportunity to visit the neighbor directly on the east side of it, Gene Ward, and he said it's fine. And we talked about putting trees in there, and he said, I don't know why you want to put trees in there. You don't need to, as far as he's concerned anyway. He said it's fine. It's a nice looking building. That was the key thing.
Yeah, it is.
Very nice.
The only comments that I've had just echoes what you guys are saying, is it blends well with the area and it looks like it's been there forever.
It looks nice, and then not only that, but we've got the fence back in place around the building, so it'll be restricted. There's gates that'll be locked where people can't get around to the back side of it and disturb the neighbors.
Good. Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, go on to number 8, discussion action regarding employee health insurance and renewal quote. And
Before we get started on this conversation, I would ask that you not mention what our renewal rate is until we've made a decision on what to do about our health insurance, just to protect that amount in case you would go out for bids. But Ray Kranz from Kranz Insurance has offered to come over and talk to the board if they so wish before we take action on this renewal. He feels it's a very good renewal rate. We've only been with Sanford for 9 months. We're not even into a full year yet, so he thinks it's a good renewal rate, but he is willing to come and talk to the board if you would like before you take action. That's up to you.
I thought maybe he would be here today. Would you like that?
He would have been, I think, if
He would have if I'd yeah.
Sure. Would you, what's the...
Do you want to have him come next week and listen to whatever before we make this decision, or?
Yeah, I think
Give
I would
his
like to have him
recommendation.
here
I would
just to
say,
give
put
his-
him on for next week.
Does that have to be made a motion?
No, no.
Just put him on the agenda for next week.
Yeah,
All right? Okay, good.
because we don't need to act on this until deadline is what, Cindy?
Okay, number 9, action to accept the resignation of State's Attorney Patrick McCain.
That's already been done.
Yep, we did
And that
9 and
was what
10.
you were doing when I came in, right?
9 and 10 have both been taken care of,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
All right, so that is done. How did you vote?
With regret.
With regret, yeah.
No, with regret.
Again, congratulations to Patrick. Number 10, action to appoint a state's attorney, and you did that.
Yes.
And I think, for clarification, I think when we appointed Patrick as state's attorney, we appointed him as a state's attorney, not the acting state's attorney. I think that's the language that we used, simply just so there's no misconception that we would do that in this situation too. Was that what you had, did you discuss that at all?
We just appointed her as the
I
state.
thought that was-
He outlined the procedure for how someone would run for the position. So yeah, it's not considered an acting state's attorney. They are state's attorney pending election.
Next year.
Yep. Okay, number 11, action to approve claims for payment. Do we have some claims today?
We have 2 claims. The first one is to Sanford Health Insurance due to a change in an employee's termination date. We originally did not pay the premium to Sanford for the health insurance, but then the termination date changed. So we cut a special check for $548.53, which is a single premium, to cover that employee whose termination date changed to October. The second one is to the city of Watertown for $21,642.31, and those are the July 9/11 surcharge collections. This amount was not covered under the new contract, which took effect October 1st. This payment was made in September. We collected $22,781.38, and we're sending 95% of that to the city for the 911 Communications Center per the old contract.
Move to approve those payments.
All right, we have a
Second.
motion by Hanton, second by Van Duzen. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
Gotta wait for Lee.
Mr. Chairman, I vote yes.
Thank you, Lee. Unanimous. A. Yes. Number 12, action to approve commission contingency transfer to the election budget. Too many elections going on here.
And this is for the express votes, and these are the machines that I'm required to have at all my polling places for people who have disabilities or problems filling out a normal ballot. And I received some information that they are $3,280 each, and that is still the contract amount through the state of South Dakota. And I need 8 of them to fulfill my requirements for the polling places that I have. So what I'm asking the board for is $20,000 from commissioner's contingency to the election budget. And I do have some money in the election budget, and I want to leave a little bit in there for any unexpected costs through the end of this year, but I think $20,000 will cover what I need. There's currently $163,904.09 in the commissioner's contingency budget.
You've heard the
Move
request.
to approve that
We've got a motion
transfer.
by Hanton, second by Commissioner Waterman. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just a quick question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Cindy, you mentioned that this would save money by doing it now as opposed to waiting until the next FY or count next year.
Correct, because if I was working with 2 different systems, meaning the old auto marks and the new express votes, I would have to pay for 2 different types of programming services for those.
Okay, thank you.
Plus,
Mr. Chair, if I can ask, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is this like a computer device that we're
Yeah,
talking about here? I guess I'm
they're
not
actually
familiar
in my back office. They are coming a week from Friday to program everything. So the new ballot counter is back there. And the new, the express vote replaces an 80-pound auto, it was called an auto mark that we had to take and set up. And yeah, it comes in a little soft side suitcase about like this. So it's much easier to handle and friendlier for public use.
Okay.
With this piece of equipment, this will coordinate all the voting.
Correct.
on
With all my
the same page.
Yes, yep, all of my voting equipment will be interactive or can be used together, and like I said, it is a federal requirement. It's a HAVA requirement that we provide each polling place with one of these devices.
and you did receive a reduction when you get them all at this point, correct?
Yes, I am receiving the state rate yet at this point. The state actually purchased 3 for each county, and I need an additional 8 for my precincts.
Any more questions? Good questions. Anything else? We have a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. There you go.
Yes, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Lee?
Yes.
Thank you. Lee had an aye, yes vote also. So unanimous vote. Number 13, action to approve the automatic budget supplements.
Nothing for 13 today.
Okay, then we go on to number 14, action to approve personnel changes, and we have a couple of them.
And the first one is Rusty Matthews is a deputy sheriff. He will go to step 9, $25.79 an hour. It is his anniversary step increase. And Debbie Melville is the accounts payable clerk in the auditor's office. She will go to step 11, $18.87 an hour. It is also her anniversary step increase.
I'll make a motion to approve those personnel changes.
We have a motion by Van Dusen, second by Gable. Any more discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And Lee voted yes also. Number 15, action to approve travel requests. We have a couple, 2 or 3 from, I know, the weed department.
We have one from the Highway Department, and it's to attend the 2017 Safety Conference in Mitchell. And the Weed Department is also requesting authorization to attend that conference. Charlie, you had questioned the lodging expense, and it's just a matter of difference. One one department was able to get a room at the conference center, and the other was not able to get a room at the conference center, and that came at a lower rate for that hotel. So it's a difference of $40, it looks like.
Cindy, is there a state rate that we get on those rooms?
Not necessarily, no. Some hotels offer what they call a state rate. For instance, the Ramkota in Pier, I think we get like $95, $99, and that's what they say their state rate is. Is there a state rate in statute? Not that I'm aware of. But some hotels do offer a reduced rate for state employees, and it's some, other counties, those type of things.
Okay.
Thank you, Cindy.
Yep.
We have a motion and a second.
Well, I got a couple more, sorry.
All right.
Mr. Mollengrath is also requesting to attend the 2017 Mosquito Conference in Aberdeen. And then, and there were some creative pictures along with that registration. And then the weed department, the supervisor and his seasonal sprayers requesting authorization to attend the district weed meeting in Stratford.
Move to approve those requests.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All yeses. Next item is action to approve our old business. We got through all of the travel requests. Old business. Is there any old business to bring before the commission this morning? Any old business?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple things.
Go ahead, Lee.
First thing is I attended last week. I attended the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative Conference, and then right after that there was a Juvenile Justice Conference that was in Sioux Falls last week. I guess kind of one thing you should all be aware of is that for the Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative, that's something that Cuyahoga County is getting into. We're getting good community participation from the school district, the police department, of course the sheriff and the jail, and as well as UJF, so the probation officers that are posted in our county. And a lot of it is the discussion to make sure that we have alternatives in place. Something is kind of like the mental health discussion, where you don't want to just necessarily have only the two extremes of releasing somebody that a law enforcement officer might not be comfortable with just releasing, versus again the jail, which also may be inappropriate in a lot of situations. And so, fortunately, in our county, juvenile detention is not a big problem right now. However, one thing that this conference brought out is that every adult was a juvenile, and so at some point, sometimes juvenile offenders become adult offenders, and so in the long run, this is something we want to be doing what we can with, because that's going to, in the long run at least, help control the jail population. And then the other thing, just a reminder that a week from today is the Justice Advisory Committee meeting. That's on the 10th at 6:10 at LATI in room 430, just as a reminder to everybody. So that's a week from today.
Thank you, Lee, and thank you for representing us at those sessions in Sioux Falls last week. We appreciate that. Appreciate you doing that. Anything else for old business? Any other old business at this time? Go on new business then. Any new business?
Well, I have attended several meetings that I just want to touch on. My ICAP meeting last week, we found out the Navigator program has been cut, which that involves people who help individuals with marketplace insurance. Another big thing that we learned, typically there's a 3-month enrollment time period. That has been cut this year. It will only be 6 weeks, so it's going to run from November 1st to December 15th. So we want to get the word out there that the enrollment period is much shorter this year, for whatever reason.
And for what program was that again?
That's the Navigator, the marketplace insurance for individuals that qualify for that.
Navigator Insurance?
It's marketplace insurance.
Oh,
It's a Navigator program that oversees
Who
that.
does that cover, Brenda? Who might that cover?
They have to qualify according to income guidelines. So that's something they'd have to go to the ICAP office or where the navigator is and get their financial information and see if they qualify for that. But I don't know what the numbers are at this point. I mean, I can get that for you. It's a certain percent of their overall income and where they fall.
What's the status of the new ICAP facility in Watertown?
They're in there. They're serving the children now, and everything's going very well. They don't have the playground area taken or put together yet or whatever, so that's something they still need to complete.
I drove by there last night, Brenda. It looks like they're getting moved in. It looks really nice from the outside anyway.
Is that on Highway 20?
It's the old Burkhardt Amateur Center
Yeah.
building on Highway 20.
Is that pile of materials on the north side of the building, is that going to be the fence and et cetera, or?
Guess I'm not sure about that, but I would imagine if that's what it looks like.
Did you see it there, Troy?
I did not, no. I
To
didn't.
I haven't
identify-
noticed.
To identify the location for us that's been around a while,
It's across
I
from
believe it was
Silver.
originally the old Steak and Buffet. I think that's what it started out
It
as,
was.
wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Steak and Buffet.
Right across from
Or
the
across from the
stockyards.
sale barn, yeah.
Yeah.
Sale barn.
That should be easy.
good.
I also attended the 911 meeting. I do have the information here if you would like copies of this that tells all the calls in the different areas. The information, if you would like copies, I can share that with all of you. Also, First District had our meeting, and Todd gave a report of all the different projects and so forth. I can make copies of this as well if you would like that. I'm guessing he will probably come. He usually gives us a report at some point also, but a couple reports if anyone is interested. Yesterday I attended the NRCS meeting, and for people who are going to be putting in CRP, there is an increase on the rental rates. It will be increased from average $140 an acre. That's before incentives. It will be going to $153 an acre. And these will be on new contracts, and people who are re-enrolling, I believe, would qualify, but the ones that are in the program won't get that. They are going to stay at the other rate. So, and with that, also, there is going to be a legislative banquet, October 16th. So is that next Thursday? No, next Monday, the October 16th. It is up in Webster at the gallery. You are all invited. You should be getting an email invitation, I believe. Nikki from the Conservation District will be sending it, but I just thought I'd bring it to your attention. The socials at 6:30, meal at 7. There will be typically, I don't know who their speakers all are, but sometimes they do have legislators from the area that also attend this. And if you would RSVP, I have that information, or like I said, Nikki should be sending you an email if you plan to attend. It says by October 9th. So I think that takes care of it for meetings.
Okay, any other new business? I think for your information on the welfare director's report, I have a copy in my packet. Does everybody else, did you get a packet?
I laid one on everybody's desk
So you
this
should
morning.
have,
Yep.
Cindy gave the report, but there is an actual hard copy of the report.
Actually, I do have something else I should bring up. Cindy did email us about November 8th being the Sioux Valley Commissioners District. We are hosting that this year. Typically, we have it at the extension. With your approval, or if somebody else wants to, I think we need to contact the extension to make sure that date is open, and then we also need to decide on the meal and get that started. I guess I've done it in the past, but if somebody else cares to do it, let me know. Otherwise, I don't mind taking care of that.
I think we would welcome you taking care of that. Appreciate you doing that, Brenda.
All
I
right.
don't think we're going to arm wrestle you for that.
I also did
job.
mention yesterday to Todd at First District, maybe as part of our Sioux Valley Commissioner meeting, and the auditors might be interested, to do a little session on Robert's Rules. Just kind of an update on that.
Auditors won't be there this time because
Oh,
we have
you're
an
gonna
election
be-
workshop on the same day. So if you could save that, that would be great.
Yeah.
I think
And I
that's a good
mean,
idea.
that might be something we can do, but we can also, oh, you want to do it at a different meeting?
Well, if you want the auditors there, yeah,
Right.
because we will be in Pier.
Okay, I'll mention that to them.
Okay.
Because they thought about bringing in the FFA, because they are pretty instrumental on following those rules, and they do a little role-playing type of deal, so.
That'd be good.
Okay, well, we'll
I mean,
figure
you can
something
do it
out.
without us.
But it would be good for you
But
guys
yeah.
to be there, I think.
Yeah.
So that can be for a future meeting. They always need topics anyway, so, all right.
And so Brenda, you gotta contact the extension office, make certain those dates.
Yes, and then
rooms
I
are
will
available.
check on the different venues of having that meal catered in.
Sure.
And then, because we have a certain price that we need to follow, and we'll figure that all out. So I'll get that worked out, and I'll
I
let you
think-
know before I make any decisions. I'll give you our options, and then we'll decide.
Yeah, what's the date on that? November? So
November
we're-
8th,
We're a ways away yet.
but we better check with
We
extension.
do need, I think we would need the kitchen area
Yes.
for the main meeting and then the breakout sessions.
If we-
How
yeah.
many are there? 3 groups that would break
Probably
away?
just 2, because I don't think
What's
any
that?
auditors will be there. So
Do
just
they-
register of deeds and treasurers.
Do they typically stay, or do they go off-site sometimes?
No, we go back to the classrooms
Okay.
normally, and we can share one of those rooms. That has worked out, so.
All right,
Yeah, good, thank you.
take care of that.
Anything else for the open? Any other meetings?
Just a heads up, next Tuesday, Ben Stout from the Department of Ag will be here at 9 o'clock for a presentation.
Who's that?
Ben
Ben Stout.
Stout.
Ben Stout.
And Dakota Range Wind will also be here after that for an update on their project.
And that is the one that we have approved up by South Shore.
We haven't approved that, I don't
Well,
believe.
they have a
This board,
permit.
it hasn't
No.
come before this board, it's
They
something,
came-
yeah.
Informational
Yeah.
meeting or informational.
Well, we are, in the planning and zoning board, we
We've
did
approved
Okay,
the
okay.
permit.
approve a
That-
conditional, so
yeah,
that's
okay,
for
that's
right.
Okay.
Dakota Range 1.
Well,
And that's
the,
for that first,
David Lau will be here next Tuesday.
Okay,
Is
good.
this a different project, Mr. Chairman?
It's in
Or is
addition, just the second portion of the first, there's a Dakota Range Wind 1 and a Dakota Range Wind 2. And the first approval of that we gave, the first group was 48 wind towers. And there's a lot more they want to add going north from there.
Would that require a special permit then, another permit?
Well, a conditional use permit, and the planning and zoning board did authorize that.
They did.
Yes, yep, we did approve that. And I have to share with you, they were in here earlier and gave us a briefing on their procedure, what they were going to do and how they did it. And
That's what I remember.
I would share with you the fact that they followed up very, very good. I mean, they went above and beyond what most others that are asking for a conditional use permit would do. And they met with all of the people involved, whether they were the actual landowner where the towers were going or the adjacent landowner. And when we had our public hearing, we had, I think, little or no opposition. I think we had 2 people that spoke in opposition of the request, and they weren't real valid. They weren't really opposed to it. They were just concerned about the birds, the flyaway, and the other one was just concerned that they hadn't been notified, and all of their neighbors, I guess, indicated that they were notified. So there wasn't any opposition. So
That was on that original
Yeah.
planning and
Yep.
zoning board meeting?
Yep.
Yes.
yeah, and that's how those things go when you do your homework and do your homework well, I guess.
So
All
are we in
right.
the open?
Anything else for the open? Yeah.
Okay, there could be a quorum of commissioners at the Paint the Town Pink Parade at 5:30 on Thursday night.
At the what?
The Paint the Town Pink
Paint your town pink.
Heel Tours is coming through Watertown. It's
Put
a
your high
cancer,
heels on, Charlie.
breast cancer awareness, and so there will be a parade at 5:30 believe it starts at the post office and goes only down to
Goes
the high riser.
West on Camp, yep,
Yep.
high riser.
Also, there's that speaker that night. I don't have her name.
Is it Tui?
Yeah, something like that. It's at LATI, I believe, if anyone has tickets to go to that or made arrangements. Other than that.
Later this afternoon,
This
from
afternoon.
4:30,
Yes, yep.
3:30 to 4:30.
Yep, there will be a reception for Patrick McCann.
And then
Congrats on
Wednesday
him.
noon, there could be more than
Okay, yep.
2 at the Republican
Central
Executive
Committee. Yep,
Central Committee meeting.
yes. And, oh, I just guess I better probably just have, as a heads up, Bruce Bueller announced it at the city council meeting. I will be attending a tour with him and possibly the mayor and a couple other council members. It wasn't for certain yet, on Friday afternoon to the Brookings city-county facility.
Anything else for the open? Nothing else? How about, do we need an executive session? Terry?
One labor contract,
All right.
one personnel.
So
All right,
Terry's
make a
asking for an
motion
executive
to
session.
go into executive
And that
session.
would be,
Second.
It would
would
be a
that
one,
be labor contracts, that'd be 3, number 3?
and also number 1, personnel.
You have a personnel issue also?
Yes.
Who's requesting that one?
Terry.
Terry, both of them?
Yeah.
All right, okay. All right, will there be any action after the executive session? No action necessary, okay. A motion to go into executive session? Was there a motion?
Yes, I made the motion and a second.
And a second? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are in executive session. Thank you.